Hello everyone, I am Edgar Canton, your reporter for today. And now, I'm going to present to you the Ego Analytic Psychology by Dan McAdams. Dan P. McAdams was born on February 7, 1954. He was raised in Gary, Indiana, where he attended nearby Valparaiso University. Dan McAdams studied at Harvard while Erickson was teaching there. However, much of his theory is based on Erickson's ideas. It is extended to Erickson's theory through the study of life narratives and incorporated Jung's ideas. Dan P. McAdams is the Henry Wade Rogers Professor of Psychology and Professor of Human Development and Social Policy. Currently, he also serves as the Chair of the Psychology Department. Professor McAdams receives his BS degree from Christ College, Valparaiso University in 1976. And in 1979, he was awarded a PhD from the Harvard Department of Social Relations. Professor McAdams is most well known for formulating life story theory of human identity, which argues that modern adults provide their lives with a sense of unity and purpose by constructing and internalizing life-defining life story or personal myths. Professor McAdams is a leader in the recent emergence within the social sciences of narrative approaches to studying human lives, approaches that place stories and storytelling at the center of human personality. McAdams' theory proposes a three-level model of personality. First is the dispositional traits, a person's general tendencies. Second is the characteristic adaptations, a person's desires, beliefs, concerns, and coping mechanism. The last is the integrative life stories, the stories that give a life a sense of unity, meaning, and purpose. In this model, McAdams argues that individual differences in personality may be described in terms of these three different levels. So let's discuss these three layers in more detail. This positional traits serves as the social actor. This layer describes the kind of a person you are. This layer describes a stable, basic, and most recognizable aspect of you as a person. This layer appears in early childhood, in 2 to 3 years old, and inconsistent in functioning across situation that and time from mid-adolescence. Overall, this layer says much about how you regulate yourself across context and time, and your effectiveness to get along with others and ahead of those around us. However, to capture your personality, traits are limited and can only describe you in your general tendencies. But we are not just our basic tendencies. We have motivations, goals, needs. Your set of predispositions influences the way you experience your environment in specific ways. Characteristic adaptation. Self as motivated agent. This layer describes what people want and value. This layer describes the personal adaptation a person makes to developmental challenges and motivations and goals. This layer appears in mid-late childhood, 7 to 9 years old, and may change noticeably over the life course more so than traits. The adaptation are activated and shaped by early social demands, and speaks to what we want and value to form our identity. This layer fills the detail that layer 1 sketches and reflects the dynamic personality. This motivation, goals, and needs influence our expectation and investment in certain behaviors such as problem solving, personal strivings, coping strategies, and defense mechanism. So, while people can be understood in terms of dispositional traits, They can also be defined through goals, values, and needs, each developing differently over time. However, people are not known well enough unless a third layer is considered and integrated, our self-narrative perspective. McAdams recognized that people vary in respect of their personal narrative. They construct to define what their lives mean. Integrative life story. The last level of personality is the integrative life story of a person. For Dan McAdams, the integrative life story hits on a problem that neither dispositional traits nor characteristic adaptation address individual meaning. Integrative life stories are the narrative structures that human applies to their lives to give their lives a sense of significance and individuality. This layer appears in adolescence and emerging adulthood in 15 to 25 years old, with life stories changing substantially over time and is consistent in functioning across situation and time from mid-adolescence. In fact, it is precisely the difference between people's narratives that make them an individual. In other words, no person's story is exactly the same, and that's what makes someone unique. So, what shapes these narrative structures? Of course, a big factor is the context of the individual's life, such as the culture, gender, and other social factors that form the psychosocial construction of the self. A person's experience shapes their narrative, and the narrative changes at different times with different experience over a person's entire lifespan.